Yeah, we should be live. Let me just see what we got here. Hello, everybody. If you can hear me. Oh, cool. Okay. Yep, I'm seeing that. Hello, everybody. Great to see you. Yeah, we'll give it a few minutes, and then I personally will be teaching everybody about planning for 2026. So yeah, get ready for planning with Tom. I'm just kidding, guys. Jared will be right here in a little bit. But yeah, I'm here, and here we go. I'm gonna leave. Let's see. Not seeing Instagram though. Let's see. There we go. Now we should see it. Got it. All right. Instagram is here now. Okay. Awesome.
Let's do this. What is going on, everybody? We'll give it a couple minutes here. Let everybody pop in. Give me a second. I just got news. My son is on, so that makes me happy. What's happening, everybody? Like I always say, let me know where you're coming in from. This is like the one time where I can actually see the chat going on. Some of you from other countries, let us know what countries too. Do me a favor. If you can hear me and see me just fine, hit that like button. Okay, that's going to let us know there that that is working. Because I know there's always people who, you know, they have an issue, but it might actually be their issue. So we just want to make sure that that's the case before we go too much further with that. So let me know on that. Let me get everything ready here. We'll give everybody a few minutes to come in. Are we hitting like? Is everything good? Someone said, are you muted? Can you hear me on there? You're good? Yeah, that's what I say. Check me out. Let's hope not. You could hear me? Okay, yeah. So if you're hearing me muted, that's you. You need to click on the sound because apparently everyone else can hear me just fine there. So awesome. Let's give it a couple minutes, guys, as everybody's coming in, then we'll get ready. Today, just so you know, will be a minimum hour. It could go a little bit longer because I do a lot of Q&A, but we're going to keep it simple. So try to budget 60 to 90 minutes. If you're coming in from an office, let me know what office you're coming in from and how many people you have there. That is always interesting to me. So keep them coming here, guys. We'll give them one more minute for everybody to get in. 1 second. Okay. There we go. Keep them coming. We got a lot of people in here, guys. I'm looking over. Okay, we'll stop sharing that sucker. I'm looking over. We're by the way, we're streaming right now on Facebook. We're streaming on my Facebook fan page. We're streaming on LinkedIn and YouTube and Instagram and all these kinds of places. And if you were looking at what I'm looking at right now, there are literally thousands of people in here, and that doesn't include whatever office we have. So we're going to give one more minute. We're going to get going, guys. We're going to keep things simple today. I want to see one more thing on here, and then we're going to get going. So let me know where you're coming in from. If you're just getting in here, guys, you can hear me fine, see me fine, hit that like button. Like I always say, hit share, okay? It costs you nothing, but it allows us to get in front of as many people as humanly possible here to help as many people as we can. And we are heading into a new year here where, you know, let's face it, we all want to have great years. And that doesn't happen by accident. That happens, you know, for very specific reasons. So hit that share button, get it out to your friends, get it out to your colleagues, tag them in here, you know, do whatever you got to do. I do look at these later, by the way, as I'm seeing where you guys are coming in. So cool. Different states, different countries, different places. I'm seeing offices on here, you know, with people with 30, 40, 50, 100 agents, whatever. That's so freaking cool. Okay. Give me your attention here for like 60 minutes. And then we're going to go into Q&A and those types of things. I'm a big believer that this can have a huge impact on what happens in the coming year. I'm going to give you guys some good info like I always try to do. And more than anything, I am really going to try to keep this as simple as possible, because I think, quite frankly, we overcomplicate things sometimes. Okay. Anything that I go over, anything I talk about, I will absolutely give you. I always try to give you guys as much free stuff as possible. So we're going to do that again. Okay. So one more time, because I'm going to get started here. If you're just coming in, you can hear me, you can see me, hit that like button. That lets us know that everything's working. I think it is. Hit that share button, share it with someone else. Comment, let us know where you're coming from. We've got people in the different chat over here. So, you know, one thing I love about you guys, I love the community. So talk to each other. If you like something, say it. If you don't like something, don't say it. But just talk to each other in the community there. So with that being said, let's get going here. My goal today, first off, it is like nutty to me that we are planning for 2026. Like does that throw anybody else off? Like that is insane. I cannot believe that we're at that place right now. And when you look at that, I've learned a lot of things over the years. I put up a post today on Instagram, and I talked about all the things that I've had to unlearn, you know, all the things we learn over the years that are, we think what you have to do to be successful, we think are the main pillars of being successful. And I've learned that just so much of it's not true. And it's also very specific to each person, right? And so my goal today is that I'm going to keep it very simple, because I think that's what works. I'm going to try to give you amazing value. And like I do on all of these things, I'm going to give you an opportunity at some point here. I hope that a lot of you will end up being in our academy. That's like our main business model. It's where I put all of my effort into. It's where we try to give amazing value. There's probably people in the chat right now who are in the academy that will tell you what the value that is. But regardless of whether you are or not, whether you're in the academy, whether your brokerage is in the academy, no matter what it is, I'm still going to give you great value today. Okay. So regardless, that will always be the case. You can always come here and expect to get something valuable, and I'll give you some free stuff, and then next level stuff, obviously, we will keep it there. But we're in an interesting time. I'm well aware that we've got people who are watching right now. Many of you are in real estate, and many of you are not just in real estate, but many of you are in mortgage, and some of you are in, title, and some of you are insurance, and some of you in all these different areas. And I'm well aware that as I'm doing this, we are in a kind of an interesting time right now, where if you're in real estate, there's a bit of a standoff right now. You know, I've been joking around at many of the events that I've done, and I've been talking about the idea that, you know, every buyer right now thinks it's 2006, every seller thinks it's 2023, and most agents don't know the difference. And, you know, that sounds like a great line. You know, I remember my buddy Leo said the beginning of that first, and I took that and kind of threw in the whole, like, you know, but every agent, you know, most agents don't know the difference. But then you start to look at the data of what's happening right now. And many agents are stuck kind of in this standoff. They're stuck in the middle. It's very difficult because you're expected to be a lot of different things, and you're expected to handle those expectations for, you know, buyers who want to get the deal of the century because they listen to some Instagram guru, and then sellers who think that their home is worth $50,000 more because their grandfather built a bird bath in the backyard. And, you know, you're dealing with these dynamics, and you now look at the fact that over 60% of sellers have rates under 4%. And so they're being very picky, and they're saying, if I'm not going to get my price, then I'm just not going to move. And they're taking their houses off the market. And then you got buyers who are being, you know, just as picky, and they're going, well, then great. Well, then I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to live in my parents' basement. And what we're living in right now is we're living in the great standoff. And the question's going to be, who's going to win? And it's not just a matter of who's going to win when it comes to buyers and sellers. It's a matter of who's going to win when it comes to agents. Because I've said this for the last year, we are going to have less agents moving forward, making more money. And the only question is whether that's going to be you or not. And what I'm going to try to do on today's call is I'm going to tell you what most coaches and trainers won't tell you. You know, if you're on our email list, I sent out an email the other day. I even made a video on Instagram and other places. And I said, look, most business plans, they're just nonsense. They're bull crap. Like, they're way too long. They're way too overcomplicated. And I had people who, disagreed with me and argued and everything else. And look, whenever you make a mass statement, it doesn't apply to everybody. There's always going to be someone that kind of bucks the trend, so to say. But how many of you have went and you create these elaborate 15-page business plans? And, when you get to April or March or May of the next year and you start to struggle, or you hit a bit of a valley, you go back to page 8 of your business plan. Almost none of you do that. And what I'm going to try to share with you today is what most very successful people won't, which is that success is really not that difficult. It's really about being simple. Great leaders, great teachers, they're great simplifiers. People with great egos, what they try to do is they try to make things very difficult so that you can't understand it, so that you need me here to interpret, so that, it's the great mystery, it's the 8th wonder of the world. And that's nothing but a great ego. The truth is that great leaders, great teachers, they're great simplifiers. And we live in a world right now where you don't need 15-page business plans. I'm going to go over our digital planner. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to have that for free, whether you're in the academy or not in the academy. I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm going to show you, why it matters. But the truth is, most of us just need, a few different commitments, and we need to be consistent with those commitments. That's really all that matters. It's the very simple things. When I get into people's businesses and I see that they're struggling, one thing is almost always clear. They have a full schedule. They just don't know of what. They have a full calendar. They're busy. They just don't know what they're busy doing. Okay. And while there's a million different things that can make them more productive, they're not consistent with any one of them. And what I want to do is I want to try to help to solve that a little bit today. Because at the end of the day, when we talk about simplifying things, all you really need is you need 2 to 3 different lead sources that you're going to be consistent with. Now, are there more than 2 to 3 in the industry? Of course, there's tens and hundreds of them, but that doesn't mean there's tens of hundreds of them for you. At our advance, I made a statement and I said, just because something's right doesn't mean it's right for you. And just because something's right for you doesn't mean it's right. Like, we all have different personalities. We have different markets. We have different, but we all have the same goal of, wanting to succeed, wanting to take care of ourselves, take care of our families, to be able to use our business to, go into other things and do other things, to be able to make decisions from the perspective of what we should do, not what we have to do, to have our finances in order, to do, like, we all want these very basic, simple things. And so at the end of the day, there's really 2 to 3 main sources that you need to have, but you need to know what those sources actually are. Okay. So we're going to talk about that. What are the 2 to 3 sources? You need to have some 2 to 3 different personal commitments that you're making. Okay. Whether that's exercising daily, whether that's going out once a week, maybe you want to go out and have a girls' night, you want to go out and have dinner with the family, whether that's traveling quarterly, whatever that happens to be. And then we all need someone, something, some platform, something that's holding us accountable to those things. And ultimately, not just holding us accountable, but also bringing to our attention the areas of change, the areas of pivot that we need to be paying attention to, because it's our job to stay in front of the consumer. I'm a big believer that not all change is good, not all change is bad, but all change is opportunity. And we need to remember that during a time like this, because my God, is there a lot of change. If you follow me online, it's like, I'm tired of covering lawsuits and what the next thing is. And this is happening here. And that's, guys, I'm as sick of it as you are. Okay. I have a responsibility that I kind of have to cover those things and have to go into them. But at the end of the day, the things that make us successful are very simple. You got a few different lead sources. You got a business structure. You got some personal things that you're committed to. And that's a part that I think a lot of us leave out. We've got some way we're being held accountable, or we're learning, we're teaching ourselves on a regular basis. We're understanding, the pivots that are there. But like I said, great leaders are great simplifiers. Okay. But it's important to understand as well that simple doesn't mean easy. You've still got to do the work. And so I want to make sure that I'm not here telling you, hey, simple, simple, simple. Simple doesn't mean easy. Okay. A lot of things are simple. When I go for a run, 5.2 miles, it's very simple. It's one foot in front of the other. Very simple, not easy. Okay. So most things in life are very simple. They're not easy, but they're worth doing. And if we had our way, we'd choose other things to do, and we have to be held accountable in order to stick to those. And that's a little bit of what I want to talk to today, because, we're not going to get next year what it is that we want. We all want things, right? We ultimately get what we're committed to. We understand how to do it. There's a roadmap, there's a plan. It's about ultimately your commitment. But I'm going to make a statement that some of you are not going to like. Okay. And this is some of the things that I've learned over the years here. Your career is probably not your purpose. Okay. And a lot of you think that it is. Your job is most likely not going to be your passion. Okay. Think about what I just said right there. Your career is probably not your purpose. Your job is probably not your passion. Like, that's okay. You know, I'm very fortunate that I get to work in a career here where I do get to fulfill, you know, purpose and passion and do the things I love. But I also work with people every single day that are, you know, in the real estate field. And in many cases, that, let's just face it, guys, like, it's how you make a living. But a lot of you, it's not what your passion is. It's not what, if you weren't getting paid, you would do all the time. You know, I'm not sure that all of you on a regular basis, the next time you get that inspection report and you're like wishing upon a star that they're going to find mold, or that you get to read page 4 of it, or I wonder what the next contingency is going to be. How's this going to, most of you probably aren't doing that. Okay. And so I've taught people for years that when you're in a situation like that, the way that you have passion for your career, the way you have passion for your job, is that you connect it to something you're passionate about. You know, your job in real estate, it may not be what you're passionate about. It may not, maybe there are parts of it that are. It may not be your purpose on this earth. But if you can find a way to make it successful enough to where it funds the thing that you are purposeful about, that you are passionate about, that's the quickest way to get passion back for the business. Because a lot of you reach a certain level of success and it's like, my God, you know, they're putting me up on panels, you know, because I'm so successful. And, you know, a lot of you hate your day-to-day life and you feel like you're in a prison, and it doesn't have to be that way. And a lot of it comes from mixed messaging of thinking that what we do every single day is supposed to be our purpose. It's supposed to be, you know, the thing that we are, you know, most passionate about. And that is not necessarily the case. Okay. So I'm going to talk about 4 things today. Okay, guys. And I want you to take some notes. I'm going to get you some of the things that I'm talking about so that you can, you know, actually have them in hand. I'm going to demonstrate some of the things, but just give me your unbridled attention right now. If you're ready to give me your attention, go in the comment right now and just write yes. Okay. Just say yes. Like, I am ready to give attention, and I'm going to do everything I can do here to try to help you out as much as I can. Again, whether you're in the academy or not in the academy, those of you that are academy members, obviously we're going to be going a lot further into what we do, not just now, but moving forward in this ever-changing industry right now. But for the rest of you, this is going to be valuable for you as well, based on the level that you will actually dial in right now, pay attention, take some notes, and really commit to what you're going to do next year on the simplest level. Okay. And so the first thing we want to do this year, and I'm going to pull this up right here so we can see it. And Tom, I'm going to rely on you, even though it's going to be on a bit of a delay. What's that? I was going to say there is going to be a little bit of a delay. So I'm just going to start doing it, and I'm going to hope that it works for you. And if not, it'll be there. We need to come up with our income goal. Okay. Now, this thing that I'm showing right here, this is our digital planner. Okay. So this should be showing, and it looks like it is showing on here. And this is going to be really easy. Like, it takes a little bit of work to put the numbers in, but once you actually put the numbers in, it's just very simple. How many appointments do I need? I say this all the time. Our industry is not about closings. It's about conversations. It's about the things we control, like appointments. Okay. How many appointments do I need? And for most of you, it's not as difficult as you think. And so the thing you're going to do is you're going to go over here and you're going to figure out, what are your actual numbers? Okay. So what's my goal GCI? Let's just say your goal GCI was, I don't know, let's just call it 300,000. By the way, I'm aware for some that's a lot, for some that's a little. It's all over the place. I'm talking gross. I'm talking before your broker split, before any of that. Let's just say it's 300,000. You're going to need to do some numbers from the previous year, right? Let's say that your average commission check last year, I don't know, let's just say it was $10,000. Okay. If it was a $400,000, but let's just say it's $10,000. Okay. It says the number of transactions to reach your goal are 30. Let's say last year, the number of listing appointments you did, let's just say that you did 20 and you closed 15. Okay. You listed, we'll say you did 20. Actually, you know what? We'll say you did 25 of them. We'll say that you listed 20 of them and you sold 15 of them. Guys, I'm just doing round numbers to make this super simple. Okay. And ultimately, what that's going to tell you here is that you have a 50% closing ratio on this. Okay. This year, I want to do, this is letting you know, this year, I want to do how many listings? And you could say that out of the 30, I want to do 20. Okay. So you put in that 20 right there. and it'll let you know how many you need and all that stuff. Okay. Now, here's what I'm doing here, and I don't want to spend a ton of time on this right here because this is the simple stuff. Let me pull back to you guys right here, and hopefully this means you're going to see me right here. Ultimately, what this is doing right here is we're just putting in our numbers. That's all I'm looking for from you here, okay? How many did I do last year? What's my percentage? Meaning how many do I need this year in order to hit my goal based on that percentage? And then what it's going to do for you is it's going to kick out for you what the number of appointments is. And the crazy thing is that most of you have no idea how small that number is. Think about this. If you needed 30 transactions next year, or let's just make it even more simple. Let's say you needed 50, right? That's a lot of transactions. If you need 50 transactions next year to hit your goal, and you have a 50% closing ratio, which by the way is not high. 50% closing ratio is not a high closing ratio at all, okay? If you did that, that would mean that you need 100 appointments next year. Now think about that from a very practical sense. That's why I said everything is simple, okay? Let's not make it more difficult. Let's not do 15 pages. I need 50 transactions. Really in that one I gave, it's 30, but let's just call it 50. I need 100 appointments because I have a 50% closing ratio. That means that if I plan on working 50 weeks next year, I'm going to take 2 weeks vacation, and I need 100 appointments in order to hit my goal of 50 transactions because I have a 50% closing ratio. That means that literally every single week, if you're working 50 weeks, to stay on track, all you have to do is 2 appointments a week that you create. Think about that for a second. By the way, that's with 50. If the number was actually 30, which was what the number was that I actually put up there, it's not even. It's a little over 1 a week. And the point that I'm trying to make to you right now is that when you start to understand this and you start to realize like, okay, I have this in my head of like what I need to do and what it's going to take to get there and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And yet the truth of the matter is it's not anywhere as big as I think it is. That if I'm working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, I'd like to know how many hours you're working every week. But part of that time is that I have to create somewhere around, 2 appointments a week. For those of you that aren't doing that right now, you need to be asking yourself why that is. And then the next thing you need to do when we start talking about the next step in simplifying 2026 is that the actual sources that you are using have to be built around creating those appointments, okay? And I'm going to get to that in 1 second. The first thing I'm going to do, how many of you would like to have that business planning planner that I used right there? If you want that, just scan that QR code right there, okay? If you're watching on your phone, don't scan it. Just go to jaredjamestoday.com/plan. In fact, you know what I'll do because I love that we can use this here. I will actually, let me put this up for you. If you go to jaredjamestoday.com/plan, okay, watch this. This is how cool this thing is. Okay, you should see that there. Either scan that QR code or just go to jaredjamestoday.com/plan. That planner that I showed you that will allow you to go through your sources, but it'll ultimately help you break down how many appointments you need. That is right there for you. Okay, so I'm going to keep that up there for another like 30 seconds so you have it. Okay, so check that out. Okay, jaredjamestoday.com/plan. Check that out. And then once you're done with that, 10 more seconds. Okay, jaredjamestoday.com/plan. Can you put that in the chat, Tom? Just put jaredjamestoday.com/plan. I'll show this at the end again for anybody who wants to see it, but I think you guys get the point, okay? So let me pull that sucker down there. Let me see how I actually remove. All right, you should be back to me. Awesome. Okay. So everyone's number is going to be different, but step 1 in doing anything like this is always figuring out, okay, what's my income goal and what does that look like? How many appointments does it take? I always like to say assess where you are now or you'll regret where you are later, okay? Most of you, it's 1 appointment, 2 appointments a week, and you look at that and go, that's crazy. But the truth, it's just because you're not doing the things every day that you need to do. Step 2, step 1 was pick an income goal, know what the appointments are. Step 2, because we're going to simplify here. Step 2 is pick a source. We need 2 to 3 different sources. Okay. So what is your source going to be? Hoping is not a source. Okay. Wishing it happens is not a source. Staring at your phone is not a source. Okay. I would love from you right now, for those of you that are watching, I want you to comment right now in the actual stream here. What is the top 2 sources for you in the last year? What's worked best for you? Has it been open houses? Has it been some kind of a, a side source like a Zillow, homes.com, realtor.com? Has it been some kind of prospecting? Has it been some kind of circle prospecting? Has it been some kind of flyers or mailers? Has it been some kind of networking or leads group? Has it been content creation? Has it been your database? Has it been some kind of client parties that you're doing? I think you guys are getting the point right now. Put it in the stream right there for everybody to see, because I think this is going to be really helpful if people can actually see what it is that everybody's putting in here. What are the actual best sources that you've had the last 12 months? Okay. And I see you guys putting them in here. I'm looking them over right now. And if you're watching right now, guys, go check it out, because it's going to help a lot of you. Okay. Like, this is like really good for you to see this right now. Okay. Like, what are people doing? Now, the thing you can't do, again, is we're not winging it, okay? Now, even when I see a lot of Sphere and past clients, I'm going to talk about today some strategies, because I'm going to talk about the 4 things that we need to focus on. But when I'm done with those 4 things, I'm then going to talk about 3 non-negotiables for 2026. And we're going to talk about what you actually do with your database, okay? So I'm loving this, guy. I'm seeing a lot of Sphere, a lot of referrals, a lot of that stuff. Okay, awesome. Okay, you right now need to stop what you're doing and say, what is it going to be for me? There is a very important point that I need all of you to understand, which is this. We make money in surges. We do not make money hourly. So many coaches and trainers and these people, what they'll do, and it's a good routine to do. It's a good strategy to do, as long as you understand that that's not overall how it works, is that we will stop and we'll say, here's what we made, break it down by the number of hours, and we go, okay, we made this much an hour. Have you guys ever done that? It's like, oh, I made this much an hour. But the truth is, our industry, our job is so much different than anybody else's job. Like, I couldn't figure out what I make hourly. I mean, I go get on a stage, make a chunk of money. I'm going asleep. People are signing up for the academy, doing stuff. I'm making money. I'm doing, like, it's different all the time. What I need you to understand is that we make money in surges, not hourly. So what you want to do is you want to look back on your last 12 months or whatever it is, and you need to stop and say, how did I actually make that money? How did I actually make that commission check? How did I actually? Because the key to success in this industry is learning how to maximize those surges, figuring out what they were and doing more of those. And so it'd be very easy to go to an open house, go walk the neighborhood, invite the neighbors, have somebody come over, list their house, sell their house, do the whole thing, break it all down, take the commission check, take your whole week of what you did and go, okay, I made this much per hour. But the truth is, when you actually think about it, it was that specific thing you did. It was that specific house you went to. It was that specific conversation that you had. It was that specific listing of that property. That was the surge that did it, right? When you put out a video and it has a very clear call to action, when you create an ad and it has a very clear call to action and it creates a transaction, that is a surge. That is a surge activity. That is not all the time you spent surfing on TikTok. That is not the time that you were sitting down. That was not the time in the gym. That was not the time doing any of these other things. That was very specific. And so you do yourself a favor by stopping and saying, because look, guys, I don't know about you, but I want to operate in a world where I can make more money and not have to be busy all the time. I put up a post this morning and I said, efficiency is the new hustle. Like, efficiency. That's where it's all out. But you can't master efficiency until you understand the idea that, like, there are surges that occur. And if you can figure out what those surges are, then you can win, right? If you figure out that this much business came from that client party or that, whatever that happens to be, well, that's a surge that's worth doing over and over again. But what you don't do is fill the rest of your week with nonsense, because I got to be working all the time. I got to be whatever. When you can figure out the surges, it gives you the ability to have more time off, because you know where it's at. When you, for example, it's kind of like working out, right? I don't need to be running and working out 24/7. What I need to know is when those surge activities are. When I'm in the gym, I'm actually working out. I'm not talking to people. I'm not doing 40-minute conversations. When I'm running, I'm running. That's what I'm doing. I'm not exercising all day long. There is a surge of activity, regardless of what I do the rest of the day, that counts as exercise. Your business is no different. You have to know where the surges are. You need to know what pieces of content are doing it. You need to know which ads are working. You need to know which circle prospecting is working, what words are working. You need to know what hours of prospecting and calling people, talking, what's working. You need to know what messages that are sent to your database, what email that was sent to your database that delivered a result. How do I do more of that? What piece of content did that? What, like, those are surges. Okay. So don't worry about, oh, I make this much per hour. What are the surges? And ultimately, how do you maximize those surges? Okay. So when I say pick a source, every one of you right now needs to stop and you need to go, what are the 2 to 3 things? What are the 2 to 3 sources I'm going to stay consistent with? Is there an hour 3 times a week that I'll make calls to my database and that I'll circle prospect around a listing? Is there an hour, every other day where I'll create content that has a very strong call to action and I'm highlighting different properties in the area? Is there an hour every other day that I'm sending out, letters, new listing prospecting letter, buyer neighborhood letter, like I'm doing, those things to actually send to neighborhoods around listings and I'm bringing business in? Is there, like, what are the surges? What will you stick to? All of your personalities are different. Okay. So you got to figure out what those things are for you, not for everybody else, for you. Okay. Number three is, and this is one that you probably don't hear that often, but I think that it's one that's missed. And it's one that I think the older you get, you start to realize that it just makes it worth it. You need to pick a hobby. Like, what's going to keep you sane? And do not tell me that your job is your hobby. Okay. That's always, whenever I talk to someone, I'm like, what's your hobby? Like, what's your thing you do to just relax? They're like, well, I just love to work. I'm like, okay, boring. Like, you have no outlet. Okay. We all need an outlet. By the way, you will love yourself more. And I just realized I still have this banner up, so I should probably take this banner down. You will love yourself more. Your family will love you more. Your friends will love you more. Like, you need an outlet. What's your hobby going to be? Like, what's going to keep you sane? Is it, like we've talked about already? Is it exercise? Is it cooking? Is it photography? Is it videography? Is it painting? Is it music? Is it gardening? Is it, like, I don't know, guys. Is it chess? Is it travel? Is it, like, what do you have to look forward to? Everything in our life is not about your job, right? That's a sad life. Like, at some point, I said at our advance to everybody, I said it this year and I said it the year before, when you look at all of the work you do and you look at the attempt to be successful and you look at all of these things, what for? What are you doing it for? Like, what is the purpose? That is really the question that you need to ask yourself. What's it for? Okay. And if it's not going towards something, there's no outlet. Like, it just builds up and it busts, right? Like, if there's no outlet, for those of you with, you have septic systems, you have whatever, you don't clean those suckers out, it's a gross thing, right? It's gotta have an outlet, right? We have to have outlets. We have to have things that make us happy. We have to have things that we look forward to. If you don't continually have something that you're looking forward to, you're going to get burnt out by the business. I've said it all the time, guys, and I really mean it. Like, people don't get burnt out because they're doing too much. They get burnt out because they're doing too much they don't love. Okay. And if you don't learn to connect what it is you're doing to something else, if you don't learn to connect the idea that, hey, I get to shoot 18 holes of golf every weekend because I worked my butt off. Hey, I get to take a vacation every quarter. I get to go travel every quarter because of how I work. The mistake I see with so many successful people in our industry is they just work. And I get it, guys. I can do it with the best of them. But I learned you got to have an outlet. You got to have something you're looking forward to that is just completely aside from. And some of you need multiple things, right? So don't just wonder about it. Don't just think about it. What's it going to be? What are you willing to try? Like, some of you would love photography and you've never tried it. Some of you would love video editing. You've never tried it. Some of you would love shooting content. It would actually be good for work. You've never tried it. Some of you would love gardening. Some of you would love golf. Some of you would love, bocce. Some of you would love exercise. Some of you would love running. Some of you would love, like, there's just so many things you could try. You want to make sure that you're living a life worth lived. Like, did you try things? Did you find out what you love? Did you find out? It's a sad life to get to the end and realize, man, I really took care of that customer. Let me tell you something. You talk to my customers. I took care of them. Something tells me that that's not what's going to matter the most at the end. And so just make sure that all the hustle, all the work, everything you're doing, you're providing, even if you're not at a place you have a family yet, or you have those around you, make sure you're building towards that. Learn sooner, learn quicker than most of us did. Do you have something that you're looking forward to? Okay. So it's not just about, having an income goal, knowing what your number of appointments is. That matters a lot. But then you go in and you pick a source and you go, okay, these 2 to 3 sources, these are what are going to get me to those number of appointments. So if I know that I need 2 appointments a week, well, I'm going to do 2 open houses every single weekend. I'm going to make calls on this day. I'm going to send letters out on this day. I'm going to create content 3 times a week. I'm going to do, and now I know, and now I'm keeping track and I know where I'm at. Okay. I'm at 2 appointments. I'm at 3 appointments. I'm up on where I was. I'm up like that's called running a business, not just running around. What most of you do is you run around, you don't run a business, because we're never taught these things. Okay. So ultimately, what specifically? We love the term consistency is undefeated, but consistent with what? What are you doing? Consistently busy? That's not the same. It's not going to have the same result. Okay. So we pick 2 to 3 sources. We pick a hobby or 2. What's going to keep you happy? And then number 4, before I go into my non-negotiables, which I really want to cover with you guys for 2026, this next one here is you have to have some kind of professional accountability. Like, I can't stress this enough. The reason why I have gone so all in when you talk about the academy and these things is, guys, it's $99 a month. I'm not getting rich on $99 a month. It's giving people that accountability in a way that our world actually operates today. When you look at the Netflix world we live in right now, on demand, we all need to be held accountable. We all need community. We're better when we have community. We are all better when we're being taught on a regular basis. We are learning, we're expanding our minds, we're staying in front of our customers. We're all better when we're understanding the pivots that are happening. We're all better when we're actually pouring into our professional lives. And working every single day is not pouring into your professional life, right? Like, you've got to actually be practicing. You've got to know what it is. You got to be around like-minded people. You've got to learn the new things that are out there. You have to know what's on, what's over the hill there, what's coming up next. You've got to know these kinds of things. Okay. So before I go into the non-negotiables, I'm going to give you guys one chance here before I go at the end, after the non-negotiables, to get in before everybody else. Okay. So I'm going to show this for like 10 seconds. If you're not in the academy yet, which is crazy. And by the way, if you're in the academy, put in the comments whether they should be or not. Is that a good value? $99 a month to hear from me twice a month live, to have them recorded, available on demand, to hear from our coaches, to be hearing with 3-month long classes on very specific things, to hear specific courses that we're doing, like to do all that stuff, to have community, to have our template scripts and dialogues. Like, is it worth it, right? The individuals and the brokerages. Now, let's talk about, and if you didn't see that there right now, and I see you guys in here, the Academy is a must, best value in real estate. I love you guys. Seriously. Thank you. I literally appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Now I'm looking down. Let's talk about the non-negotiables. Okay. When we talk about non-negotiables, I'm going to show you guys something here that I think is so true. And I'll get these slides to you. Okay. So check this out right here. Do you guys see this? 2026 is the year that these things go to pasture. This is the year that these things have got to die. They got to go to the cemetery. Okay. 2026 is the year that your following mattering is done. And I'm not happy about that. Can I just be very, very clear about this? I am not happy that ultimately your following doesn't matter, because I have a big following and it doesn't matter as much as it used to matter. Okay. 2026 is the year where your following mattering, it matters less and less. Being able to be found is now what's going to matter. And all of you who are in the academy, and you, and by the way, I see you guys saying, what was the website again? So just real quick, I'll show you real quick. You just click on it right here. It is jaredjamestoday.com/academy. Okay. Or just scan that. Tom, if you could put that in there, because I'm going to go on with what I'm doing here. jaredjamestoday.com/academy. This is the year where it's about being found. For those of you that are in the academy, I've been doing 4 straight weeks on, just how to have AI platforms find you, how to have them recommend you. It is very specific. And there are flags being put in the ground right now as far as who's going to win moving forward. And if you are not recommended, you don't exist. I say this all the time. There are apps that are better than the apps on your phone, but you don't even know about them because they're not in the App Store. Therefore, they don't exist. And moving forward in a world where, just like you're doing, where people are searching on these AI platforms, they're searching on GPT, they're searching on Grok, they're searching on Perplexity, they're searching on these places. If you don't show up, you don't exist. So 2026 is the year that followers mattering is going less and less. It's dying. It's the death of long business plans. Not necessary, guys. Simple. What do I need to do every day? How many appointments do I need? What sources that I committed to actually get me there? Okay. What am I using? What professional source am I using to be held accountable, to learn, to grow? And what hobbies am I focused on to make sure that I'm actually doing things that make me happy and give me a release and make the people around me? 2026 is the year that your past clients, that's gone. No such thing as past clients. Okay. You got clients or you got prospective clients. And a lot of that comes down to, if you look down on the bottom right here, I said relying on portals for leads. Guys, I can't stress this enough to you. Okay. In fact, I'm going to come back to this, but I'm going to just look at you guys real quick here to actually make sure you hear this. My DMs are filled with so many of you whose businesses have been built on leads that you're buying from Zillow and Realtor.com and Homes.com and all these places. And there's nothing wrong with that, unless you're not handling them correctly. The numbers of you that have had the rug just ripped out from under you because of changes in Zillow Flex and changes in whatever, and you weren't ready for it. Building your business on rented land is obviously a terrible idea, but building your business on rented land doesn't mean that you're not using those sources. What it has to do with is, once you're getting those leads from those sources, what are you doing? What database? Are they going into Mosaic for long-term, client for life type of activities? Are they going into your CRM immediately when they're leads? Are they going into Wise Agent? What are you doing with them when you're actually getting them? That's what matters. If you're simply getting leads from portals and then you either close them or you don't close them and you move on to the next thing or whatever, you're running your business like you're Tinder and not eHarmony. And if I can tell you anything on this little training right here, you need to learn something from old school here and just go eHarmony, not Tinder. Okay. It is about the over and over and over and over again. And it is way easier to take an existing customer and turn them into 5 more than it is to take a lead and turn them into 1 client. That's the God's honest truth. So it's not about where you're getting the leads from. It's about what you're doing with them once you get them. And if all you're doing is paying Zillow Flex and Realtor.com and Homes.com and all these places, and then it's just another lead and they close it, they don't close, I pay off a percentage, then we're next, and you are Tinder and you're not doing anything with them post-close, you're in trouble right now. I'm telling you, that's called building your business on rented land. Not smart. So the days of relying on portals for leads, guys, that's going to pasture. Okay. Ignoring social media, going to pasture. Thinking AI doesn't matter. Guys, I won't even go into that. I just did 4 weeks in the academy on that. It's going to pasture. Not using your tech stack. Those days are over, guys. The idea of like your broker or somebody else offering out a tech stack to you that you can use with your consumer, and you have it, but you don't use it. Consumers are expecting something different moving forward. They are operating differently in this world now, that if you have a fax number on your business card, good luck. Like, that says something to the customer. One person over here is allowing them to operate in the world they actually operate in. They've got a client-facing app. They're doing their e-signatures. They're doing their forms. They're doing their search. They're doing their post-close activities. They're finding vendors. They're doing everything in one place on an app. And you have a fax number on your business card. Okay. Like, it's a very clear, like, it lets the consumer know right up front, that's like marketing on what they're going to get. Okay. Being an amateur, not understanding the right words, that goes to pasture, guys. Okay. When's the right time to buy? When's the, like, not knowing the answers to these questions, that goes to pasture. The idea of being a matchmaker and just being good at getting along with people, being good at being like the reality shows and just being pretty and doing all that stuff's great. And it can work to your advantage, but we got to be pros moving forward. When someone says, when's the right time to buy, you need to tell them 250 years ago, every home in America, or every home wherever you are, whatever country you're in. Okay. It's the right answer. And they're like, okay, what do you mean? You say, look, the right time to buy is whenever you're ready, willing, and able. All I can tell you is that if you don't buy 10 years from now, you're going to wish you bought every home in America. Okay. That's the right answer to people. It's whenever you're ready, willing, and able. But we need to be pros and understand that. We need to be continually trained to understand that. That's not osmosis. That's working with your coach or in the academy or whoever. And like, when things are coming up in the marketplace and there's new objections that are coming up, understanding how to handle it because you're a pro. Objections are not a bad thing. This needs to be the year that you understand objections are a good thing. It means that the client's willing to extend the conversation. It means they want to talk more with you. It means they want to know why it makes sense. It means the reason why most of us don't like objections is because we don't even know what to say. We don't like objections. It's a chance to deepen the relationship. It's a chance to separate yourself from the other professionals in your area, but only if you're trained, only if you know what to say. One of the things I haven't mentioned this, but in our academy, we're going to finish up with AI. We have a couple more weeks of our AI training. Then we're going to go into, planning for the next year and doing those types of things. And then before I'm going to go into like a 2-3 month thing just on getting listings, like how to get listings. We're going to do that one at a time, just like one after another. We're going to do some skills training on the exact objections people are getting now and how to get ahead of them and what to do. And I'm telling you, for those that are in there, for those that are in the academy and they learn these things, they're going to close at a higher level. They're going to make drastically more money than $99 a month because they're going to be pros. And it's not about sounding slick and doing, people don't work with people like that. They work with people they're comfortable with, but they can tell the difference when they're dealing with someone who knows what they're talking about and someone who's just trying to wheel and deal or just trying to get along with them or just trying to match make. Like, guys, it's the largest asset they're ever going to buy or sell. So third most stressful time in their life, they want a pro. They want someone who not only knows how to fight for their commission, but knows how to fight for the value of their home, right? Someone said to me the other day, they said, I don't know what to do. Someone said to me at a listing, this is actually in the academy. The seller goes, well, I know agents who will do it for less. And they weren't sure what to say. They're like, what do I say? What do I, whatever. And guys, it's really simple. I know agents who will do it for less. Well, I know agents who will do it for more. So it sounds like I'm right where I need to be, right in the middle. So why don't we just move? It's just, there's easy ways to respond to things, guys. I know ones who do it for more. We all know people. Is that what we're looking for here? Okay. But you got to know how to respond to these things. Okay. And then last but not least, as far as, when we talk about what's dead in 2026, guys, it's just winging it. Winging it is done. Winging it is over. Okay. In a world of AI, in a world of disruption, in a world of tech, in a world of big companies spending billions of dollars to replace you, in a world of them building their own ecosystems and creating triggers, post-close and pre-close to try to get your customers to get into their ecosystem so that they'll never think of you again. The idea of winging it moving forward, the idea that, well, I take care of my people and tech could never do that. Guys, that's a bad argument now. It's expected that you take care of your people, okay? But consumers make decisions all the time on situations that are not in their best interest, even though there's someone that will take better care of them, because they make decisions based on convenience, what's easy for them, okay? And so our job is to, number one, meet them where they're at and give them the convenience they desire, give them the tech stack they desire, give them the tools they desire, and then go that extra level that those tech companies never can do and give them the experience regardless that nobody else can do, okay? So let me talk about the 3 different non-negotiables for 2026, okay? You ready? Here we go. If you guys are ready for 3 non-negotiables, hit that like again. Give me the like. It gives me energy when I'm staring at a camera, knowing there's thousands of people watching and I can't hear or see any one of you. It's kind of a funny thing. And just so you know, guys, when I'm done with these, I'm going to go through these non-negotiables. I'm going to give you one last opportunity to be in the academy and talk about what we're going to be doing with it. And then I'm going to answer questions, guys, and I will answer whatever you want. I'm going to do my best. Sometimes with this many people, it's tough. There's just a lot of things coming in, but as I see them, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to give you as much value as humanly possible. Okay. If I don't get to a question today, here, I'll put this up for you. If I'm not able to get to your question today, I don't see it, that link right there, connectwithjared.com. That has my Instagram, my TikTok, my podcast, my everything, okay? If you have questions that I'm not able to answer today, just go follow on Instagram or Facebook or one of those places and send me a DM, send me a direct message, and I'll do my best to get to those as much as possible. But just keep in mind, there are a lot of people on here, okay? So do that, okay? Now, non-negotiables. Number 1, and again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one because I've kind of already covered it. Number 1 non-negotiable, and I can't explain this enough, it's just you better have a plan for AI to recommend you in 2026. If you are watching, I just did a training with a private company right before I got on here with you guys. And I talked about some ways to have different AI platforms recommend you. When I did that AI training publicly with you guys last month or the month before, I talked about how ChatGPT has gotten to 1 billion searches 5.5 times faster than Google ever did. And when an AI platform recommends you as a realtor, you have a 4.4 times likelihood, higher chance of closing that lead, a 440% higher chance of closing them than if Google recommends them. That is huge. So you better know how to show up. And I made a comment before, and I'll say it again. 2026 is not going to be about who has the most followers. 2026 is going to be about who's the most findable when AI recommends somebody. It's not about followers. It's about findable. And if you still don't understand how to be found, how to have AI recommend you in this world we live in right now, where people are planting their flags, and it is even discovering right now who the people are that it's going to recommend, you're in trouble. I'm telling you right now, guys, we are in a new world. People are going to keep using agents, but how they find you is going to change. And what they're not going to do is they're not going to go to the way that you used to do it or the way that you started in your business 30 years ago. You might even be the best option for them because you've been doing this so long and you know what's going on. But if you don't operate in the world they do as far as how they consume and where they're finding people, good freaking luck. And I don't know how to stress that to you anymore, okay? So number one is have a plan to get AI to recommend you. Number two, 2026 needs to be, for so many of you, the year that you just cultivate quality relationships, both personally and professionally. Like, I cannot stress that to you guys enough. This is not something I would usually cover on a 2026 training, but one of the things me doing the academy now has done and giving me like so much contact with so many people is that I'm seeing like how much people are struggling personally because of relationships. And, you know, I made a video the other day and I said the quality of your life is going to be determined by the quality of your relationships that you keep. But here's the beauty. You choose your relationships. Okay, guys, the quickest way, literally the quickest way to turn your life around is to cut people off who shouldn't have access to you. There are way too many people that a lot of you are allowing to have relationships with you because your bloodline or because you knew them when you were a kid or because you feel bad for them or because, and you are allowing them to suck the life out of you. You know, I had a conversation with someone right before I came on here, and I said to them, I said, you know, these particular people we were talking about, you know, that there was another problem, another whatever. And I said, you know, in all the years I've known you, they have not edified, you know, anything for you even once. It's always problem. It's always the next thing. It's always and too many of you are living your life for people that you are never going to satisfy. And some of you need to hear what I just said. You are living your life for people that you are never going to satisfy. So why not just stop and start living for you? Why not, like, the smaller your circle, the bigger your results will be. Okay. I have very few. I'm friendly with a lot of people. I have very few friends, and that's not an accident. And some of you need to understand there is a difference between networking and being friendly with people and choosing to have people in your life who edify you and lift you up and add to you and challenge you and add to your overall life, because you only get one. And by the way, I'm not just talking personally, I'm talking professionally. You know, our team leader coach, our former team leader coach, Rick Fuller, used to say, and I used to love it, he would talk about people in his office and he would say, you know, some people you've got to promote them to customer. Some people you got to promote to customer. And some of you are allowing people in your office, you're allowing people in your team, you're allowing to be partners with, you're whatever, that you just need to promote to customer. Meaning when they buy or sell a house, you'll go represent them, but you just don't have any interest in that professional relationship anymore. And some of you brokers need to hear that. Some of you team leaders need to hear that. Some of you agents, some of you insurance people, some people you need to promote to customer. They don't belong in your professional circle. Okay. And number three, do I want to? Number three, you got to activate your database. Okay. So pay attention here in the few minutes I have here. This is really important. You got to activate your database, guys. Like, here I am talking about AI, and we're talking about tools, and we're talking about, you know, all these other things. And yet the truth is, most of you have a gold mine right under your nose. The average person right now buys or sells a home every 10 years. It's actually going down, but let's just call it 10 for easy math. That means that if you have 1,000 people in your database, meaning a very small database, right? That's a very small database, 1,000 people. If you have 1,000 people in your database, and they buy or sell once every 10 years, that means you have 100 people right under your nose that are buying and selling in the next year. We're out here searching, we're paying all this money, we're doing all this stuff. And the truth is, most of you to hit your goal, it's right under your nose. They just don't know you exist, or your marketing is poor, you're not reaching out in the way they like, or you're, whatever it may be. And so I've got two ways I can go with this. I think what I'm saying to you guys know is true. I wasn't going to do this, but what if I give you two very specific strategies to activate that database? Would you like that? If you want me to do that, hit the like button or write yes in the comments. All right. I was kind of debating about this because this isn't like a strategy call. It's more about 2026, but I don't want to waste your guys' time either. If you want me to do that, just write yes in the chat, in the comments, or hit like. I should make you share it because all of you should be sharing this video. Okay. And I'm gonna go to Tom. You're gonna be the final say. Is there enough people doing it, or should I move on? Like, do they want it or no? There are a lot of likes, a lot of yeses. Okay, well then here we go. All right, now I got to do this off the dome here. Okay, so here's two ways. Here's two things you can do to activate. Okay, and I will say these now, and when I'm done and I'm doing the Q&A, I will type it out. And maybe, let me think a second here. How can I do this? Maybe I'll type it in the chat, and then maybe I'll also, we have a Facebook group called Jared James Coaching. I'll put it in our group. Remind me later, Tom. I will write these out in the group so you can copy and paste them. So if you're not a part of Jared James Coaching yet, go join. It's 100% free. It's nothing but value. No spam, no nothing. I'll put it in there, okay? But here's what you're going to do. Two of them. One of them I've talked about before. One of them is kind of new. But one of them you're going to do is, if we know that 10% of them are buying or selling this year, that means if you have 1,000 people, 100 people are moving. If you have 10,000 people, that means 1,000 people. By the way, it actually means 1,500 because half are buying or selling, half are buying and selling. So if you have 1,000 people in your database, you have 150 transactions right under your nose. That doesn't even count the referrals they could give you. That doesn't even count any of that. I'm being so easy on this right now, okay? So one thing is, we're not after closings, we're after conversations. So I want you to send this message. You can either send this message to your database, or you can do 20 a day through text message, or you can do it through a, whatever way you want to reach out, whatever way is going to narrow down based on the size of your database. You could send this to the contacts in your phone, and you want to start off and you want to say something like, hey, I was just thinking about you. Keep it generic, but it sounds like it's to them. Hey, I was just thinking about you. Has any of the recent news changed your real estate plans in the next 12 months? Just write that. That's a conversation starter. Hey, I was just thinking about you. Has any of the recent news changed your real estate plans in the next 12 months? Guys, that's going to mean different things to different people. For some people, that's going to mean rates. For some people, that's going to mean, can I sell my home? For some people, that's going to mean, it's a good time to buy. For some people, that's going to mean, elections. For some people, that's going to mean capital gains. Is that changing? For some people, you don't decide for them what it means. Put it out to them. Let them determine what it means. Start the conversation. That's all you're trying to do. So, hey, I was just thinking about you. Has any of the recent news changed your real estate plans in the next 12 months? Great one. Absolutely a great one. Okay. Another one, I actually, I got this one from, I think it's Daniel Beer. I was watching his Instagram the other day, and he had a great option, and so I'm using it because I'm just thinking of it spur of the moment. So I'll just give it to you guys. And he said what he does with his database. He's one of the top agents in the country, and what he does with his database, which is so brilliant, is you can either use a survey tool like a Survey Monkey or something like that, or you can just send a message to your database. And again, we're trying to activate them. We're trying to get them to raise their hands. Okay, and you're going to send something out that basically says something like this. Hey, I need 10 seconds of your time. With all the misinformation regarding the housing market, I'm curious, do you have any plans of buying or selling in the next 12 months? And you have them say yes or no on like a survey format. And then the second question, or do you have any plans of refinancing or cashing out on any of the equity in your home? Yes or no? Just doing my research. People love to be a part of polls. By the way, you can also put that up on your stories, on your social feeds, right? Put it out to the people on there. They'll answer, and now you can talk to them. And what you're going to get is a whole heck of a lot of people that are going to raise their hand and be like, well, I am actually thinking in the next 12 months, and they just think they're being a part of a survey to help you because of all the misinformation. Or you're going to get people who are going to be like, yeah, I'm thinking of pulling money. And that opens up the conversation for you to talk to them and say, well, what are you pulling out for? You're doing improvements on the house. Is that a great idea? Or should you, maybe it's a better idea to not put it there. You're not going to get it back. It's better to put that money into a new home and do it that way. Like, there's all these different options that you have with them. But ultimately, it comes from the idea of like, okay, let's activate the database by creating conversations. Okay. Now I will take both of those when I get to the Q&A, and I'm actually going to post those so you can take them and you can use them however you want, and hopefully get a lot of hands raised, because now's the time to do it. Right now, it's not about closings, guys. It's conversations. Whoever has the most conversations is ultimately the one who's going to win. Okay. Now I want to tell you this. I say this every year, and I'm going to say it again this year because it matters. We are always in two businesses, okay? We're in the business we're in, and we're in the business that we're going to be in. And the business that we're going to be in does not look like it looks right now. I said at the beginning of this call, and I mean it, not all change is good, not all change is bad, but all change is opportunity, okay? And all of you have to look at this coming year and realize that there is amazing opportunity. Every new year I make the video, and it's just so true. And I talk about happiness and gratitude and all of these things. And I make the statement, and I say, happiness doesn't come from hitting your goals. Happiness comes from the understanding of how lucky you are to be in a position to set your goals to begin with. Think about that statement. Like the idea that many of us have the opportunity to create what kind of year we want, to decide what we do on a regular basis, to decide how consistent we are, to decide whether we have hobbies, to decide how many sources we're going to have, to decide whether we, are in an academy or have a coach and like we're being trained and we're doing better, to decide whether it's like a smack in the face to people who don't even have that decision. Ultimately being fulfilled doesn't come from hitting your goals. It comes before that even happens. It comes from the idea that how lucky I am to even set goals to begin with, okay? And when you start to look at this business like that, it starts to rewire you to be a little bit more consistent and to put a little bit more work in and to understand that everything's not about what you love. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Bull crap. I love what I do, guys. I work my butt off. That's okay, okay? And that's good, and it should be difficult because it means everybody can't do it. But this is the year, guys, that we don't want to not only set a plan, but at the end of the day, we want to look at the whole picture. Some of you are looking at how do I make more money, but the truth is you already make enough money. You need to clean out your car. Some of you make enough money. You need to go clean out your house and get rid of, stuff you don't need. That's going to make you feel way better than making more money. Sometimes we don't know what it is that's actually going to make us feel better. And so we just think it's money because that's what most people are after. And yet the truth is, just stepping into a clean car or a house that's been cleaned, or if you just got a house cleaner every other week and invested in that and stopped buying coffee, like you would feel a million times better. And so we have to handle ourselves in a way where we understand what it is that we actually like, and we don't let other people determine that. Because very similar to the whole relationships thing I said, it's like you go your whole life and you're told what will make you fulfilled: money, power, influence. And then you realize poor, rich, in between, it's quality of relationships. Okay. And so let's get serious about this stuff. Let's make 2026 the year that we say, yeah, it's going to be the best year ever, but not just because I make more money, but because I make more money and I have purpose for it. I make more money and that funds the thing that I care about. I make more money, but I've got a reason for it. It's not just making money. That won't fulfill you. Okay. And so I'm going to, I think I'm going to tell you guys this too. I think we're on the verge of a boom right now. I really do. When you look at last year, I think was the worst real estate market that we've gone through ever. It was the lowest number of transactions in 30 years. 30 years ago, we had 70 million less people in the US. So that's a bad market. And I think we're on the verge of a boom. I think we have a lot of people right now that are unsure. I think that if you give a kid a Snickers bar, he is ecstatic. I think that if you bring them into a candy store and say, pick a candy bar, they don't know what to do. And that's what's happening right now with buyers and sellers, is they're getting mixed messages from amateur level realtors, news media who doesn't know what they're doing, all of these, and they're just, I don't know what's here, what's there, what's there. And it's up to us to put out the right content, to talk to them, to have the conversations, to say, hey, it's time to get off the fence. I don't know if it's the perfect time to buy or sell, but I know if you don't, 10 years from now, you're going to wish you bought every home in America. You guys see what I'm saying? That has to be our mentality. Okay. Now I'm going to go into Q&A, but I do want to give you guys one opportunity before I do that, because let me put this up here for you, because those of you that are not in the academy yet, guys, this is my sole purpose. Like, this is what I'm doing right now. Okay. It is $99 a month. It's $1,097 for the year. It's a 100% tax write-off. And I want to make sure that you understand I'm finishing. We're doing another 2 to 3 sessions on our training on AI, not just how to be found, what tools you can use to be more efficient. Like, what are the practical uses? Even if you haven't been in yet, all of those sessions are all available to you. Not only are they available to you, we put together for you on every single call that I personally do. We do notes for you with step-by-step what I talked about, what you need to do. We make it very simple for you. I can't explain this enough. There's a reason I waited this long to do an academy. It's because the technology wasn't there to do what I want to do. And we're not done yet. I literally just said to Tom before I came in, let's schedule a time next week. I need to shoot more courses. Those are courses that will sell for thousands of dollars to you if you're in our database or a social follower, but not in our academy. But for $99 a month, you get not only training with me twice a month live and then on demand after, you're going to get those courses as part of what you do. You're going to get all of our template scripts and dialogues. I'm rewriting all of the templates and dialogues right now, which is crazy. But the market's changed so much. You get access to that community. You get all of this kind of stuff for $99 a month. You get the Jared James Academy app. Okay. Think about that. Like right in your pocket. It's all there for you. Go watch the replays. You get notifications. There's a discussion board. People are asking questions about the last session. How does this work? I'm doing this. Like, $99, guys. Skip going out once a month. $99. Get better at what you do. We just finished our series on AI. We're starting a series coming up here on systems and processes. The whole point of the academy is that it allows me to actually sit down and do strategic, step-by-step, screen share, show you what to do. One of the next ones we're doing is going to be systems and processes. How many of you know you need better systems and processes? You know you do. But how many of you know you've talked about it over and over, but you don't do it? You don't know what you're supposed to do. What if you had someone like me and then some of our coaches helping and other people walking you through step-by-step what to do? That's what we're able to do because of the academy. Whether you're an individual, if you're a brokerage or a team, you want to get in there, send us a message. Let us know how many people will get you in there. And then after we go through that, we are then going to go into a series, probably going to take 2 to 3 months. I'm going to do nothing but how to get listings. So when I talk about those sources, many of you went, I'm not sure which source to do. I'm going to do 2 to 3 months straight of nothing but strategic ways, old school, new school, to be getting listings that there's no way you could watch it and go, I don't know what to do anymore. You're going to be able to pick 2 or 3. You're going to know specifically what to do. And we're going to do that in our academy for $99 a month. And when I'm done with that one, I'm giving you guys kind of like what's coming here because I've got it all mapped out. When I'm done doing 2 to 3 months on how to get listings, we're then going to go into a series on how to win the listing. What do you do? It's so psychological. Okay. So we're going to go into how do you actually win the listing? And then we'll go on from there. Like I said, we're going to add courses. We're adding quarterly now. For those of you that are already academy students, we're about to add the option now where you're not just hearing from me twice a month live, but we're going to start doing small group quarterly courses that are taught by myself and taught by some of our coaches that are going to be there on how to recruit better, how to build a team, how to do, geographic farming, how to get into like whatever those topics are. We're now going to start adding that too. And I'm going to say this one more time, $99 a month, guys. Like it is insane. And then I wasn't going to say this, but I am. And then we'll get into Q&A. I don't usually say this kind of stuff, but I'm going to tell you guys. When we did our AI training last month, the month before, whenever it was, we had over 600 new people sign up for the academy. Okay. Over 600. Okay. And I'm not talking about groups. We don't count groups as an individual. We only count the one paying member. So if that's a brokerage with 3,000 people, one person, we had over 600. Do you know how many have left since then? Tom, how many have left in the last month from the academy? 3, 4, 2? Like how many have left the academy during that time frame? Not many. What's the number? I wasn't planning on doing this. 2. Okay. You guys want to know if $99 a month is worth it? We had 600 people sign up on that. We've had 2 leave. Tom's right there. I just asked him. That's not he didn't know I was going to ask him that. 2. That shows you value. Okay. So get in the academy, guys. I want you guys in there. Remember, there were 7 million homes sold in 2005. There were 4.06 million last year. We are on the verge of a boom. I don't know how to get this across to you. Okay. You need to have the right system in place, the right process in place. You need to know what it is you're doing every day. You need to know how many appointments. You need to know what to be saying to people, how to overcome those objections. Because if you will make the choice to be a professional realtor, not a TV realtor, not a, I'm good at being with people, I'm good at whatever, a professional realtor. You are going to do amazing in the coming years if you stay ahead of the pivots, you stay ahead of where the consumer is, and you give them the experience that they want. And I am committed to you guys to make sure that I put us in a position to do that. Okay. So with that being said, guys, I want to get into Q&A. So if you have questions, by the way, I know some of you asked about the slide for the digital plan. There it is right there. Okay. So just go click on, just scan that, or just go to jaredjamestoday.com/plan, PLAN, or you can scan that. Okay. That's all there for you. Okay. Remind me, I'm going to put in the group later, like what those things were that I talked about as far as like what to send to your database. Yep. I'll do that. There's the Academy for you guys one more time. And I'm going to start getting into questions right now. Okay. Yeah, very simple. Okay. What would you advise to those of us with stagnant luxury listings? I'm going to tell you two things. Okay. Number one, let me take this down so you guys can see me, and then I'll put it back up if you want it as far as the Academy later, but I want to take this down so you guys can see me. There's a couple answers to that question. Okay. Like the easy answer to when a listing is stagnant is, what's the reason? It's price, price, and price. It's really, it's really that simple. And so, yeah, it's price, price, and price, no doubt about it. But there are some level of luxury listings where that's not the case. There are some levels of luxury listings where it's so out there that generally speaking, the buyer is going to come from another country. It's going to come from the super wealthy. It comes from a very small percentage of people, that can actually buy that property. It's not a price issue at all. It's a matter of finding that person. Okay. And so what I would tell you is, number one, before you even take that listing, you need to set expectation. Whether it's a luxury listing, whether it's a just everyday run of the mill listing, we as an industry are not doing a good enough job creating expectation and letting people know that we control the process. We do not control the market. We do not control the price. We control the process, not the price. Okay. The market fluctuates, goes back and forth. And so we pick what we believe it to be, but ultimately the market determines what that listing is. And once we put this listing on the market, we're going to get feedback, and it is our job to respond to that feedback. And there's three ways we're going to get feedback. Okay. One is they're going to make an offer immediately. We're going to get multiple offers, and it's like, great, we priced it correctly. This is good. And it's an amazing thing. The other two ways that we get feedback is both by showings and lack of showings. And one is we're going to get showings, but we're going to get no offers. And that means that we're close, but we're not really there yet. And our job is to adjust to that. And the easiest and best way to adjust is by the price. That's the market saying it's not worth it. And the third way, because what you'll do is you'll find that you won't get a lot of showings at all. And then you'll get a seller that would say, well, I'd be willing to lower this, but I don't have anybody telling me that it is. We don't have any feedback saying that. So your job is to create the expectation up front that that is the loudest form of feedback, which is nobody comes in, nobody's making offers. And that is the loudest feedback of all, because it means it's not even at a point yet where it's worth it for them to come in and take a look, which means we're not even close. So feedback can come through an offer, feedback can come through showings and somebody giving feedback, and feedback can come through no showings, no feedback. That's feedback. So we need to create that expectation up front. Number two, when it comes to a luxury listing, my hope would be is that you're advertising it in certain places and you have data on that. You have data on how many times it's being seen, that you are actually putting it in front of, because when you make meta ads and those things, you can actually put it out in front of people based on their income level, and that you're putting it in front of people in that income level, in the area where they would buy, so that when you go to your seller, you're not just going to them with opinion or frustration. You're saying this many people who are qualified buyers that we have targeted, whatever, on this site, on this site, on this ad, on this one, this many people saw it and they're not making a move. And so there's many different ways that we can adjust this, but the easiest and quickest way is by price. That's the one they're looking for. But you need to come to them with data. So number one, I would tell you, create proper expectation, which you can't do after the fact. Hopefully you did it already. And number two would be you need to come with actual data to go to them and not just give your opinion, but explain to them that it's your job, like a doctor when somebody's sick. You didn't give them that sickness, but you're not doing your job if you don't tell them what's going on and what the next recourse is. Well, I'm your doctor when it comes to this house. My job is to read the market, to get the most number of eyeballs, which I've done. Here's what it is. Here's the feedback. Now my job is to bring it to you. I didn't do this to you. I control the process, not the price, but here's what I would recommend moving forward. Okay. That's what I would do. By the way, I see somebody saying, what's the number to non-negotiable? By the way, Megan, I saw you said join the academy. Megan, awesome. I saw somebody else said, what happens after you join the academy? You're going to get a message. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom. You're going to get a message. If you don't see it, check your spam folder. It's going to give you the ability to go and set up your credentials, username and password. You can go on jaredjamesacademy.com on your actual computer. But go in your app store, whether you have an iPhone or a Droid, and download the Jared James Academy app. And make sure you have that as well, okay? Somebody else asked me, what was the number 2 non-negotiable? Number 1 was have a plan to get AI to recommend you. Number 2 was quality relationships, personally and professionally, okay? Smaller circle, bigger results. Number 3 was activate your database, okay? Those were the 3 for you, okay? Another person joined the academy. Hello from Portugal. Paulo, I may be coming back to Portugal in February. I hope so. I'm just reading questions, guys, to try to give the ones that are, where do you want to? Yep, these are more like people are telling me they joined and stuff. Yep, got it. Oh, awesome. Somebody said solo agent wanting to build a team in 2026. Top things to focus on now to get this going ASAP. Remember, in the dating world, 9s don't date 5s. So if you want quality team members, build the infrastructure of your team now so that it's a 9 or a 10. That way you attract 9 or 10 level players, okay? New team leaders get frustrated because they just bring everybody on, and whether they're good or not, it's like, here we go. And they think it's a quantity type of thing. You want quality, okay? But again, 9s don't date 5s. So if you're not happy with the people who are being attracted to you, it's because your business structure and otherwise is not a 9 or a 10. It's a 5 or a 6. So right now you need to make sure that you've got your Wise Agent CRM. It's set up. You've got your system set up. You've got your lead routing set up. You've got your, like, all that stuff set up. On the other end of the business, when it comes to once you actually have a client and they're ready to start searching, or you've got past, the people you've worked with, whatever, now you've got Mosaic on that side, working both sides of that client relationship. You need to make sure that you have your boat built before you start fishing. So make sure your business is a 9 or a 10 so you attract A players, okay? I see a lot of people saying thank you. I see a lot of people saying I joined the academy. Awesome. So happy about that. By the way, if you're a brokerage or a team leader, you have multiple people, either message me and go there, or you know what? Someone asked to see this. Let me see here. I might be able to show this to you. Someone said, do we have any way to see the academy? Well, let's see. Did I do this right? Tom, you'll have to tell me if I got this right. Guys, this is the academy. Okay, so this is the website. This is not the app, okay? But in the academy here, you'll always have your latest call, and it tells you how far in you are, okay? Like how long it is, how far in you are. It keeps track of what you've done, what you haven't done. Got all your, look, if I go here, you got your scripts and your templates and those kind of things, okay? So you can see those right there. Actually, you can't see them because it stayed on the page. You got your community stuff, you've got your account, you've got courses here, you can register for the next call. This is a timeline of what's next. You've got replays of the advance as far as all the sessions at the advance. You've got all of your live replays here. So like all of the sessions we've done, all of the series we've done are all going to be there for you. It's all very simple for you, okay? You also, let me see if I have this here because I'm trying to help you guys out. Let me stop sharing this if I can figure out how. There we go. Maybe I'll show you. Let me go up here. Here we go. I'll do this because I see you guys asking for it, so I will do it. Here we go. Okay, when you go there, perfect. Let me show you this, and then I'll get back to answering questions. But this will help you guys for those of you guys who are asking to see what this is. Okay. How do I stop screen? Got it. Okay, so now we're going to go here. Share screen, and I think this is it. Yeah. When you go to that link for the academy, this is what you're going to see to get signed up, okay? It just basically goes over what it is, goes over specifically what it is, and then it gives you the option. $99 a month, $1,097 for the year, or if you're a broker or a team, click here. There's all sorts of testimonials and other things that are here. I don't need to go through it all. This is what you need to know. $99 a month, $1,097 a year. There's all sorts of other things there, so that's what's there for you, okay? If you have questions about it, let us know, but that is all there for you. Let me turn that off and get back to you guys. if I can figure out how to do that. Awesome. Okay, back to questions. The 2 ways to activate your database were the 2 different messages I talked about. One of them was a message that goes out and it says, hey, I was just thinking about you. Has any of the recent news changed your real estate plans in the next 12 months? And that's just a conversation starter. And then another one is a survey you can send out that basically says, hey, can you take 10 seconds and help me out here? Due to all the misinformation about the real estate market, I'm trying to really get good data on what's happening in our local market. Can you tell me if A, you have any plans of buying or selling in the next 12 months, yes or no? And then question 2, do you have any plans of pulling out equity or, cashing out and doing a refi for your home, on the equity you have, yes or no? And those are 2 questions that signal people who may be moving, and now it starts the conversation, okay? Amanda, where can we rewatch this? If it's done correctly, it should replay on here for a little bit on Facebook automatically. We're going to clip it so you don't have all the beginning and ending stuff, and we'll put it up on YouTube. If you're in our database, we will send this out to you. Top places to be recognized on AI. So AI actually tells you where they look. They look on Reddit. They look on your social channels. They look on all of the normal places you would think. All I would do is this right here, okay? So Rona, here's what you do. You get on your AI. So here's mine right here. And I'd go, hey, Alfred, what are the top places that I need to have a good presence in order for you to recommend me as a local realtor in my area above and beyond anyone else? Also, obviously, I'm doing this for other agents I'm training. You know that I am not looking to do that. Okay. And then it's just going to tell me. It's probably going to say HomeLight. It's going to say Zillow. It's going to say like all these places. Let's see. Google business profile, it's saying, is a good one. Your website with local pages, that's something we're teaching in the academy right now. ZillowRealtor.com, Homes.com, your social platforms, your bio needs to be correct. Local reviews, Zillow, HomeLight, these types of places, local video content. It tells you exactly where to go, like exactly. And then I would say, awesome, I'm still training these people and I want to give them an example. Can you write out a bio that I could use on my website and on all social channels that would be extremely AI friendly and would lead you and all of your AI buddies to have a higher likelihood of recommending me instead of any other realtor in my area? And it's going to do it. And it's now it's writing the bio, and it's copy and paste that I can put on my social profiles, that I can put on my website. That's going to make it more likely for AI platforms to go and find me. Like, you just got to talk to it. It's doing it right now. Pretty cool stuff. Let me see what else I got here, guys. Is there a contract with the academy? No, you get to pay for the year up front and you get a month for free, and it's an absolute write-off. Or you pay monthly and you can leave at any time. And like I said, we've had 600 plus people sign up since the last training, and 2 have left, and they never logged in. Is that correct? They never logged in. So like, they left because they never took advantage of the trainings. Big mistake, because you're grandfathered right now. The prices are going to go up on the academy, and those that get in now, you're grandfathered. I already answered that. Yes. I'm going to write those out. They'll be in the group. We'll put them later today. The 2 questions to ask. I'm getting a ton of just join the academy. That's awesome, guys. Let me see. I'm looking for questions though. Yep. And I'll put the script for the text. Oh, they're saying in the Q&A. The problem is it's going to get lost here. Hey. I'm going to put it in the Facebook group, Jared James Coaching, and I'll pin it to the top for the next 24 hours when we get off of here, because it's going to get lost here, guys. It's going to be gone. Yep, we met. Awesome. Yep, it's a lot of the same. Can you repeat those things? Any plans to talk about YouTube in the academy? Yes, guys. One of the things I didn't mention is that I'll be doing a series just on social media. Like, that'll be months in itself. Like, just, there's so much to that, like winning at social media. But this is why I do the academy, guys. It's like, if you can learn the behind the scenes boring stuff that is step-by-step strategic and practical, you will win in your market every day. Because like, people aren't doing it. They're just trying to be good at what they do and make a video and do whatever. There are very specific steps, okay, that make it work. I just crossed yesterday, I looked at it on Instagram. I just crossed 205,000 followers when 2 years ago I was at like 10,000. We did 50 million views the last year. And like, it's not an accident. Like, I know exactly what I'm doing. And yes, I'll be teaching that in the academy. I've been one of the, this could go wrong because I haven't read this. I've been one of the fortunate first users of the Academy. It is awesome. At the beginning, I felt like we were 12 people having a one-on-one session with you for an hour. Those times are almost over now, but I definitely recommend the Academy. We now meet every 2 weeks with Jared and dive in as deep as we want to on specific subjects. We hear a lot of things that can't be shared on stage. That's actually the great way to put it, by the way. Who wrote that? Vincent. You're so right. Like, I just stuff I can't talk about on stage. It's not for the it's like, it'd be boring if I talked about it on stage. But I opened a new brokerage in Alabama where I've been for a year. I currently have 2 great agents, but I'm looking to get more great agents. What's the best way to attract more agents? 2 things. The same way agents get clients. Get out and network, get out and meet people, be good, don't sound thirsty. Agents are moving in your area all the time. They're moving back and forth. The only question is whether you're an option. Visibility trumps ability. You got to be visible. You got to be an option. They have to know that you're looking for people. You've got to provide a climate. Remember, 9s don't date 5s. You got to provide an office that actually gives value in today's world, and you need to make content around it. You need to make content around the thing that you're trying to do. Make content about agents joining you. Make content about why they would join you. Make content about what you offer. Make content about why you're a broker and how much you love your, make content. And the more you make that organic content, what's going to happen is let it go for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then go look at the insights on each one of those videos. And what's going to happen is that those insights are going to tell you who the winning horse is. So you're going to look at them and be like, okay, I made these 5 videos. Wow, that one popped. That's the one they loved. Now that you know which video was the one they loved that had to do with recruiting, joining your brokerage, why you do it, go put money behind it. Put massive amount of money behind it and promote it to your area. Promote it to agents in your area because you know you have a winning horse, okay? So those are the 2 things I'd tell you. He has recommended Wise Agent in the past. Guys, I'm on the Wise Agent train because Wise Agent is now offering websites as well. They're not publicly on their site, but they will do websites for you. That's what kept me for a while from like really promoting them. It's the best CRM out there as far as usability, cost. The jockey, meaning Brandon, is awesome at what he does, loves his customers, works night and day to make sure you guys are happy. So if you're looking for a CRM, Wise Agent is the way to go. If you're looking for a website with it, they do that as well. You just got to tell them you came from me, okay? Yes. Do you teach how to build a team in the Academy? Absolutely, guys. That's definitely a topic that's being covered. Okay. Exactly what I thought was happening is going to happen here. We're getting a lot of stuff. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do, guys, because we are coming up on an hour and a half. Send me questions if you have them. I'm going to go back into this later. If you asked a question, I'm going to go back into this later. And I'm going to do everything I can to answer as many of these as possible. Last chance, guys, if you didn't take advantage of the Academy yet, $99 a month. Look at what people are writing about it. I don't pay these people to do that. Those are members. This is the best value in real estate, okay? Hold you accountable, keep you to where you need to go, like walk you step by step on the behind the scenes of what you need to be doing, live Q&As with me on every single call, courses being added all of the time, an app, a community. It's so worth it. If you're a brokerage or a team and you want your people to be trained on a regular basis, this is where it's at. Reach out to us. Let us know how many. It's very affordable, but my God, is it worth it? And you get the app. You can see what people have done what, how much of the videos they have watched. The technology is finally there to do what it was I was trying to do 5 years ago. I was trying to do 3 years ago. I was trying to do 10 years ago. The technology is finally there. Okay, guys? I hope this was helpful. Do me a favor. We do this for free. Like, hit share. Share this to your people. Say something good about it. Tell them to watch it. That's what I ask of you. You know, whether you're in the Academy or not, we give you this stuff for free, valuable. The next one we do is probably going to be on getting listings, or it's probably going to be on the right words to use. I'm curious which one you'd like. If you're still in here, which would you rather hear? Would you rather the next training be on getting listings? Or would you rather the next training being on using the right words, overcoming objections, saying the right things? I'd love to know which one you guys would rather me do the next one on. I'm going to watch it down here. As I'm waiting for that, I hope that I'm heading into the new year with you guys as part of the Academy. It is now, like I said, it's my personal like passion now. I want to take a group of people into the next era of real estate, give them direct access to me, and really watch you flourish as we head into the next place we're going. Okay. So let's make that you, let's make that your brokerage. Let's make that your team. And I'm going to look at these answers later. I'm seeing listings, right words, all of that stuff. With that being said, guys, I'm going to go. I'll check these later. I've got another thing I've got to get to. Thank you for being on. hit that share button. A ton of you showed up. I appreciate the world out of you. I love you guys. Hope I'll see you at a live event soon. I've been hired by some of your companies to come do live events. Some of you will be reaching out soon. I do virtual events too. I want to work with as many of you as possible. So I love you guys. I'll see you soon.